we don't have it on video, but it'll be in the minutes as best as I was able to capture it. Sarah, also in regards to your mic, if you hover down at the bottom of your pane where you see your picture, you'll get the little icons popping up and you can click on the mic there to mute yourself. You can also mute your camera. So if I were to do it now, I would go from being me, Bertha, to my avatar. I don't know if you guys can see that little blue monster as opposed to me, the little. So that's how you would handle your mic or your camera. The other option for your camera is you just, use a camera cover on it. Okay, Jane, sorry, go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I've been spending our time not at school, just really trying to figure out infrastructure for online teaching, and in the interest of keeping it both simple and robust, it seems like the best tools for us are going to be Google Classroom, the Kiosk.com interactive practice studio for band, and Flipgrid. Does that seem to make sense to you?
For me, that makes sense. That makes sense for music, for certainly, and especially for the elementary and middle school grades. If you're using the method books with them, I think that's great. Other middle school band people or music people want to chime in? Okay, Sharon's using Google Classroom.
Hey, Pat, can I chime in?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so Jane, one of the things I'm doing is I'm still learning all of this, but I'm getting pretty good on Google Classroom, and I'm posting something to my kids every day just so we're having a chance to interact in that way. Haven't used any Zoom meetings yet, but my assignments are having to do with practicing. I uploaded music for them that they can download. And one week we did videos that they uploaded. This week they're just doing a journal, a practice journal, and I created a Google Doc for that. They're also doing assignments that I have through Teachers Pay Teachers. So there was a Black History musician assignment. There's a Your Favorite Musician assignment. There are genre and style of music assignments. And my culture music assignments that they can do as projects that could last maybe a whole week. And I think when we get back, what I'm going to try to do is like some little check-in assignment every day so I know they were there, and then one more long-term thing. But my question, Pat, for you is about instruments. I know we're going to be open tomorrow. I have some kids coming to get instruments, but they are not all going to have them. And I only have, even best case scenario is about 50% of my kids turning in anything. So without instruments, and now that our concerts are canceled, my big question is maybe just some ideas or advice about what we should do going forward with instruments. We're not really planning for a concert. Maybe we could do our method book. But what do we do about instruments and when they will turn them in? And how we get them cleaned and all of that. So that's a lot in one thing, but thanks.
That's
I just want some advice about projects. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so I will communicate with secondary teachers, the music teachers, on those issues. That's an item for concern at this point, is the instrument return. Hopefully kids will come tomorrow and get instruments, so you'll have more than 50% of your students able to do playing exercises or something over the next month and a half. I know there's going to have to be some kind of a return process for textbooks and for Chromebooks and so forth. So I'm sure that we'll be able to set something up for instruments as well. I don't know exactly what that is at this point. Okay, so thanks. Okay, visual arts teachers, how are we handling art supplies? Anybody got an answer for that one? No, okay. Somebody. I've got a lot of arts teachers on here.
Yeah, well, my AP kids have been coming and picking them up when we're open.
Okay.
when we're open. But, you know, you can do things without supplies.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Would you sort of amplify that statement a little bit and give us
Well,
some?
you know, I like you put all those things up. Um, maybe it's not going to be producing art, but maybe it's going to be learning about art. You put all those links up, Pat. Some of them are really great. Um, you know, they have like movements or about art. Or I put up one thing that the San Francisco Asian Art Museum had about a mandala, and then they had to draw the mandala. They can draw the mandala and color it, and then they can either print it out or draw it freehand. Or if you have like, I don't know what they have on their Chromebook for drawing programs, you know, nothing, nothing paint, no draw. Well, anyway, they could
It'll
and
be
then
very
they can take a picture of it and upload it, you know.
Okay, well, thank you, Daphne.
Mhm.
Bertha, did you want to respond a little?
I was just gonna say, as far as the Chromebooks go, it's gonna be very basic what they have in there. It's mostly for the more traditional um, online curriculum that we have.
Mhm.
But you, as a teacher, if there's something that you know of out there that is completely free, not going to collect their information or a credit card from mom and dad, you can add that link into your classroom, into your Google Classroom in Clever, so that your students can access it there. At do a Google Doc with your assignment, give the instructions. What we have available to us as a Google environment, it's available to us for free. So we don't have a lot of bells and whistles um, as far as like draw programs and stuff. But there
Mhm.
probably are things out there that students can use. Um, it's just a matter of what you know of, and I could put feelers out, and we can get that information back to you as far as recommended for our particular
Mhm.
environment, what's going to work best within our Chromebook use and our Google environment for the students. Add that to my list.
All right, thank you, Bertha.
Yep.
I want to say that this morning, going over some Google Drive basics with Lori, she had a chart that equated certain Google programs to Microsoft ones, and there was one that took the place of Microsoft Paint, or I think that was the program. So that might be a Google program that could be accessible to the kids. I'd have to double check on that though.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Pat.
So go ahead. Hey, Mars.
Hi. I think the Google program that's like MS Paint is not available on some of their tablets.
Okay. Bertha's nodding her head, so I guess that's right.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
Okay. Well,
Well, if
let me
we
look
put it
into
in
that
as a
anyway.
link, can they get it? Like if we upload it and put it in as a link?
No, because
It used to be like it was called Google Draw, and it was part of their Google Drive stuff. So they could have just accessed it that way, but it's not there anymore. I don't know
Okay.
about the link though.
I'll follow up on that and try to send something out to people. Okay. So good question though. Very good question.
Oh, otherwise,
Um,
I was just gonna have them experiment. Like, there's a lesson on using coffee as like a paint or tea, like for a wash. Um, there's a bunch of things online like that where they can use like kitchen materials.
okay, great. So did you find those just through Google? Google.
Um, something that's helped me out a lot is I'm part of a lot of art teaching Facebook groups. And so people from all over the country, they are starting before us. So they're sharing a lot of their lessons and their how they're doing things and stuff.
Cool. Okay, thanks. So, somebody says there's also Khan Academy and Chrome Music Lab and Brain Pop for music. I just want to say that Brain Pop is something that the district used to provide and doesn't provide anymore. So if it's probably one of the free for now extensions that you can get. And free for now is great for now, but what will happen later is they'll say, okay, now is over, and we want some cash. Have you got some money? And that will be your up to you, basically, whether or not you fund that and provide that. Not sure that the school site will be able to back you up there. The other piece is, as I understand it, there's people that offer the free for now things. Once the free time is up, they will hound you with all kinds of solicitations, to here, buy our program, you pay for it now, et cetera, et cetera. And they could blow up your inbox. So just to be aware of that before you go out there. What we're looking for right now is things that are free forever, and things that are really accessible to our students and that we can use and not have to worry too much. We suffer a little bit. We kind of trade off a little bit of the functionality, because the things that cost money have a lot more bells and whistles and things that you can use. But there's a downside to everything, up and down. So we try to go with what we can use that's not going to cost, and it's not going to share our students' information and so on and so forth. Okay, so we got Flipgrid is a good thing. There was just a Flipgrid thing today on the training. The video will be up. You can watch that presentation, and I think that's good. Somebody says, I haven't found music as a course offering on Khan Academy. Do you recall what it's listed as? So I don't know. Okay, and
There is also a request if people know of a Facebook page or some other site out there that will help with connection with art teachers. Go ahead and share.
Okay. Oh, so Mars is typing some stuff in the chat, and Shannon says she's looking it up.
So I don't know how I'll send you the link, but I know the way I did it was Facebook has groups. So you can search under groups and search for art teachers, VAPA teachers. There's even IB teachers. There's ones that are specifically only for photography, ones only for ceramics. I'm sure there's music groups, and there's a bunch of them. You might have to fill out a little form and ask the administrator to be able to join, because they just want to make sure that you're actually a teacher and not some random person. And that's how I did it. But can I send you the names, Pat, later?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I will do that.
All right. Let's see here. So I'm looking at, here we go. Jane has a question on here about using the people at the KJOS publishing about interactive practice software and getting a site license. So I have an email from the owner of that company, and I'm going to access it real quickly. And he says he has good news, but his good news is basically what we know already about going to their online site. He says they have an option to purchase the IPS access separately for Tradition of Excellence and Standard of Excellence from Google Play or Apple Store. And for now, up until June 15th, it's $1.99 a piece. So that's what he's offering us. He's not giving me any kind of a site license, though. He's telling us that that's what's available for us. So that was my answer. I don't know if it's not a great one, but it's there.
Well, and just as far as the
Okay.
district goes, because of the financial shortfall, we're not in a position to buy district licenses for software. Some sites do have site funds that they could possibly use, but spending deadlines are very fast upon us. So the ability to be able to get that done, in addition to making sure that everybody's getting paid, and those payroll people have been working really hard. Um, it's not very realistic in that regard. So it's $1.99 per copy, so it would be $1.99 per student. Pat, is that how you're understanding it?
Instead of $1.99, I think you go on the App Store and purchase it, basically individual by individual. So it's not a great idea. I'm telling people they do not have to purchase it, and it's always good. What can we do? We can't do anything. We don't have money to put towards that. So what we can do is take screenshots and use excerpts and send out excerpts from the book, or make up our own exercises, basically, if we want them to practice a certain thing. I wanted to say, Ms. Cronenberg is here, and I'd like to hear a little bit from the world of dance, how it's going out there. Can you unmute your mic? Can you unmute your mic, Jesse? Okay, so you bring that bottom bar up and you see your microphone thing, and take the little X off of it.
Can you do it for her?
I'm not.
Should be able to over on the right hand side.
So sorry guys, it was
Good.
the bottom bar was not coming up for no good reason.
Good. Okay.
Hi, good to see everybody. We're facing the reality of like not coming back to school at all. Previously, we were talking about like if we were rehearsing pieces to be put on stage, even if we were coming back for one day in May or June or July, like what that would look like. But now the reality that's unrealistic. Turns into how do we create digital products instead of live dance-based products, and also the idea of collaborative creative work. How can we still make that happen? So I've checked in with all my choreographers in our company, so I'm like the advanced end of the program, and the majority of them want to keep their pieces alive. We were one showing in. So like the first minute of their, final pieces for May had been completed when this all happened. So they were really like on a roll and really excited to continue to work and ready with like their next plans. So I'm meeting with everybody today and tomorrow and having a conversation around like, what does distance rehearsing look like? And for each piece, what's going to make sense for them. And for us, that's going to be a lot of video sharing and then some Zoom breakout sessions where I don't know if you guys have done this yet, where you can be like the host of a Zoom meeting can break students into groups, and then they can be in their own assigned separate rooms where they are collaborating, talking, figuring something out, and you can pop into each one of those to monitor their progress or check in on questions. So that's part of the plan. The other part of the plan is them to create videos and share them out. So that's the part where they are working and creating together. In terms of like producing and sharing that, I'm looking at becoming a video editor in a way that I've never had to be before. So checking in with our folks on site who do classes that are video editing based, so like our media arts folks, about is like Vimeo versus YouTube versus like Movavi, which I don't even know if that's how you say that. Like what, if I'm gonna like commit to one and try to stick with it through the rest of the year and not have to learn all of them, like which one makes the most sense? And then acknowledging the fact that I have folks at home who just absolutely do not have any room to move. They don't have outside space. They, are between pieces of furniture if they're in the living room or the bedroom. How do we keep it equitable and safe and fun and creative for them as well? How to keep them engaged, which, there's no right answer to. And just knowing that that's going to be true for the next 10 weeks while we are inside of this emergency remote learning setting. Because that's what it is. Like, I don't think we can actually call it distance learning. Distance learning is something that like you plan for, and then you like make sure that your lessons are, sequential and make sense. And everyone who signed up to do it is actually like, that was what they originally planned for. We're in an emergency. So lowering expectations is something we've also talked a lot about. And then for my beginners, the thing that's been great that I've done so far that I'm actually like very excited about is I've had my advanced students make videos for my beginners, and then I've posted them for the beginners. Here's a warm-up exercise, here's a technique exercise, here's some choreography in very small little snippets. So they're all like 3-minute long videos or something like that. So then instead of the video they're watching of like is me, which they don't care about me, they want to see the seniors make a dance for them and then teach it to them. So doing that where the students still have that kind of interaction, even though they're like not in the same space and it's asynchronous, has been very useful. And granted, none of this has been for a grade up till now, but starting next week, when we come back after spring break, I can officially assign those things. And if you've already done it, great. And if you didn't, you get an extra week or however much time you need. So I've thankfully already held auditions for the program before this happens. So I can, other than a handful of like makeup and callback things, like build the classes for next year. And I'm really, it's hard to think about how do I give those beginning level dancers what they're going to need to be successful next year in an intermediate level, because I have to move them up. There's a whole other set of new ones coming in. I don't really have an answer for that, like the best way to do that. And we're just going to have this like cohort of students in all of our classes for the next many years, where it's like, oh, you all were the spring 2020, like COVID kids or whatever. So those are some of the things that I've been doing. Really leaning on them to help each other has been great. And then having live Zoom, like stretch sessions, live Zoom, like check-ins. I've had like 40% participation, except for my advanced kids. Everybody shows up. They're very dedicated. And then also finding ways to provide social opportunities for them, just like space and time, and say like, it's important that like the thing that the company advanced kiddos are missing is that connection they have to each other, and having that chance just to socially come together feels really important. So like finding ways for them to do that with each other, like even if it's like they're like a Zoom snack time or something, like they're not like low stakes, you're just having a conversation and hanging out. So that's what I've been doing. It was a total bummer to like lose the dance festival, and total bummer to know that we're not getting on stage. And I'm kind of managing that for them, but also for myself. Like this isn't the job I signed up for, but this is also not what they signed up for either. And we're all just very much feels like getting through. I guess the only other part of that is that we're talking about how artists are the ones in times of crisis that help give hope and inspiration and context to the broader public. And so how can something that we create collaboratively during this time be something that helps other people? So that's what I'm doing. And I think Avalie had to leave already. She was our other dance person on, I think. But yeah, so mostly like the support I need right now is this like outreach to our media arts folks, so that I can be supported in the video editing that I'm going to need to help them do for what comes next.
Okay, I think I need that same support, but I don't know exactly where I'll find it. So you're lucky to have folks on site anyway that are helping with that. I'm getting it from my trainings in the teacher lessons all week long. So I see, who else do we have? Do we have any theater people here? No drama folks. So we've heard from something from dance. We've heard from the music. How about ceramics? Miss Pesh, what's doing in ceramic world? Can you unmute your mic? If you go to...
Yeah, got it.
There you go. All right.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I've passed out clay to students, like half bags, the last time the school was open. I'm going to pass out clay again tomorrow. Kids been doing makeup work mostly, and I spend a lot of time just getting everybody in, because I never needed a Google Classroom. And so I started it on the day that we closed the school, and just to get the word out and just reeling everybody in. It was a lot of effort just doing that. And then I've been also reassuring them, saying, you know, it's not the first time having a kiln, and there's things to do. And right now they're just doing how-to posters, and I already have some students. I have an F student who actually reached out to me. He joined the class and was there 1 week as a new student, and then he disappeared for 2 weeks. So he had an F. And he suddenly reached out to me and said, what can I do? So I'm like, well, then do the how-to poster. So the first thing he did is he copy-pasted something. Like, well, that's not what I had in mind. And then he's like, can I do it again? And then it's like, and he actually came up to a D. Then I said, do a reflection on that poster. And now he has a C. And so I just told him, go look at your other classes and if you can do it there too. So I feel like it's a real opportunity right now for the students who've been super slacking to I'm stressing that on Zoom, not on Zoom, on Google Classroom. Guys, this is your chance to just make up your grade and just working with those kids right now.
Can I jump in here also on
Sure.
ceramics? Because I have some questions for Luna also, and I'm also teaching ceramics. And I just want to give you a little like holla for giving the kids a second chance, because that's been I think also Jessica mentioned lowering expectations, and recently went through and looked at my grades and just looked at, I do have kids who had Fs, several kids who had Fs due to missing work or incomplete work, or even just not presenting it the way that they're supposed to in my class structure. And so a lot of those grades were tweaked just to say, like, listen, like, we are in a crisis right now. So I don't think it's fair that under circumstances where you don't have me as a teacher in front of you every day, and you may not have, working internet or whatever, I don't think it's fair that I could say the student would not have been able to, I can't predict that student wouldn't have been able to turn it around. So I'm totally there with you on that. I think we have to be equitable in a sense where it's like, okay, I have to do whatever I can. I've also been handing out clay at school, or going and cutting it up into cubes and having, since we do free lunches at school, I've been leaving it with the free lunch group, who are awesome, and they've been passing it out to my kids. My kids know they can come there and get it. I did a video on how to make your own clay studio at home, and then I posted that, and then I put an assessment with it, just so that I could see if the students are getting it. But I know that I can't grade that assessment until the 13th, and most of them haven't done the assessment. But my biggest problem has just been with that very small amount of people that are participating in the lessons I'm creating for them, because a lot of them know they don't have to. But then also some of my AP kids who are super stressed out because they're like, I have all this homework and all this work I have to do, but I'm really confused about how I'm supposed to do it when I'm not getting grades. And so AP has been a real challenge. I mean, it's been quite wonderful to be able to actually dedicate more time to AP, because I can do one-on-one. I've been using Zoom. I didn't realize that I shouldn't have been doing that until now, but I can do one-on-one conferences with my kids. But yeah, I'm curious about I like your idea for the how-to posters, and I think if you don't mind, I'd like to copy you.
Okay. We can have a conference, you and me, if you want.
Yeah, for sure. That would be super awesome.
And I send you the email.
Yeah. Here, in the chat, I'm gonna put my email down, okay?
I have
So
it
are all of your kids,
Oh, you can see it?
I
Oh,
have
See it on the wall. Okay.
on my wall.
Thank you both.
yeah.
Ceramics Land. Way to go. Way to
so
go.
are all your kids taking the AP test?
That's Daphne. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, is that Daphne? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have not told my kids that they have the option to get out of AP right now. That is something. Is that what you're referring to? The fact that they can now drop the exam, right? I'm just moving forward with we're gonna test. I mean, we've paid for the.
Tell them about the changes.
I have. I've kept them abreast of all the changes. The changes put us in a really good position because we were with AP. So I'm doing 2D, 3D, and drawing AP. And the way that I set it up this year was the students had 13 pieces, finished pieces due by the time that we ended up going on emergency.
Oh, wow.
And the first piece is 3 pieces actually, because that's how I started out the year this year with them. Is their first assignment when class started was in 1 week, everybody make 3 pieces. So
Okay.
I started out really rigorous, and I think that's been our saving grace.
So that's a plus. I just want to say thank you, Sarah. That's a lot to know and a lot to share, and I think it gives us some good ideas going forward. In general, the grading thing, the first 3 weeks was not graded. It was kind of almost voluntary going to school or not. But after the spring break, it's all for real. So you're giving assignments and they're going to be graded. Assignments will be graded. The students will receive a grade, and attendance will be recognized as well. So that's kind of important. And I think the students will get that message from the district, but it doesn't hurt for you to send that out as well as you're reaching out to your kids that we're back on track for real starting on the 13th. And there will be grades and there will be attendance and so forth. So they
How
know
are
it's
we going to do the
not optional.
attendance? How are we going to
Pardon me?
do the attendance? How are we doing the attendance?
Well, there's a lot of different ideas. If you're using a Google Classroom format, you can give a quick assignment that everybody has to turn in, and the ones and you can even see if they've accessed the assignment or not, and that can give you an attendance for that day. I think your sites will probably have maybe better ideas, but that's one that we've talked about previously over the week. Bertha?
Grading was formatted generally, the guidelines for that in that phase 2 document in terms of, well, and then you're talking about attendance. They are going to be talking about how you can do that if it's a matter of, you're doing so many check-ins with the student based on what work they're presenting to you in terms of assignments. It's all new territory, so they're trying to figure this all out so that it's something that can still be done without even more burden upon you, because we know that all the teachers are working to figure out their way of communicating best with their students and presenting lessons and check-ins and stuff. But I'm pretty sure I remember seeing something about attendance in that phase 2 document.
Okay.
Did that help?
Ruth, I see you raising your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, my idea is, I already put in the chat and have 5 for the week, and it doesn't matter if they answer them every single day, like if they miss 1 or 2, but then by the end of the week they have put an answer in for all 5. That would be okay with me for attendance.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very good. Other things people want to share that are working for them, that they're doing right now, that they're going to continue next or a week after next? Okay, it's very quiet now. It's gotten very quiet. So, if there aren't other questions,
at some point, Pat, I don't know if you caught that in the chat. So, your teachers are sharing some really great stuff. For those of you who remain, I'm a district employee, not under VAPA directly, but I have, Pat knows, very strong feelings about VAPA. My son was a band kid. Both my kids took part. So the fact that you're finding new ways to, we cannot hear you. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Is that better? It's not normally something that I hear. Zilka, is that better?
Nope.
Ah, okay. Typing.
I'm typing. Okay. So, Miss June, now do you have a perspective to share? You got to unmute your mic. So,
Okay,
if
just
you guys,
unmute.
oh, good, perfect.
So yeah, I think I have a very similar situation with other teachers. So basically, you know, I teach ceramics and AP Studio Art and Advanced Art. So for, you know, last 2 weeks and 3 weeks that I already gave them the materials to work on at home. But, you know, the question will be what's going on, you know, when we come back to Q4, that's when, you know, like especially my ceramic students will have hard time getting their clay. So I have to kind of switch to more like a beginning art assignments, more like a drawings that they can do at home with maybe art history. You know, I've been getting resources from like museums and Art 21 videos. So that's kind of what is going on with my plan. I've been meeting with my students once a week in Zoom to just check in and see how they're doing. It's been going well with only handful number of students, but I think when we start Q4, since we are going to actually, you know, start giving grade, I think a lot more students, hopefully everybody will participate. About the AP, I actually talked to my AP students, you know, right away. They have an option to actually drop the exam without any penalty, because even though they've been doing really well so far, but last, you know, the portion of the AP part is that actually putting all the portfolios together, which is very stressful. It's really hard for, you know, for students. So I think it's better to give them an option right away that, I mean, let them know that they actually have an option to drop. And especially those students are not seniors, they can actually continue next year. So I already talked to the AP students, but then also like other AP teachers, I've been kind of meeting them in Zoom, like one-to-one, and to check how they're doing. So that's pretty much what's going on with me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you
You're
very much.
welcome.
So other questions, other concerns, other things you'd like to share? Ms. Pesh says her students have an assignment for next quarter posted. They can do it without clay. It's a 3D class, so my assignments will reflect that. Okay, very good. So we've heard from our music, we've heard from our arts and our dance. Anybody else? I think that's about all that we have represented at the moment. So if there's nothing else, we can bid adieu and say thank you for stopping in at this point. I don't know that I'll have specific meetings like this on a regular basis, but as needed, if people feel the need to see each other's faces or hear from them, we can set something like that up. At this point, the music folks, I will be in touch with the secondary music a little bit more often, just as we've done in the regular year. But again, it's all about supporting each other. It's about making things good for our students so that they can receive some type of education. I don't know if you listened to the school board meeting last night, but we have the whole thing soup to nuts. We've got people saying what a great job our teachers are doing, and people saying, oh my God, there's nothing going on in West Contra Costa, and everything in between. I had a funny thing that I sent out to you all. I hope you got a chance to see it, from the Washington Post, but it had different people's responses to having to do their own homeschooling with their kids. And there was a note from one that I just loved, and it said, it's not going good. It's not going good. Mom's right now trying to figure out how to make this lesson work, and she's getting frustrated, and it's hard to get things done, and it's not going good. So people appreciate what you do. I think this is causing the world to understand that teachers actually do incredible work, and they appreciate what you're doing right now. So if there's not anything else, we can call the meeting a wrap and have a great week.
Anybody know what you do if your camera doesn't work?
Yeah, you go.
You take the tape off.
No, there's no tape on it. I've moved the thing back and forth.
Have you gone and taken the little strike through thing off the camera icon?
Yeah, it's in my computer.
Oh, okay.
My computer, that's the problem.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how to do that one. I can't fix the computer.
There's a problem. No, I put it out there and they have not helped me at all.
Yeah, they're a little overwhelmed right now.
Yeah. Huh?
Trouble ticket to help desk.
Send it to the help desk. I did that.
Right now.
Uh-huh.
So that's the online system that you would submit your trouble ticket to.
Yeah.
And that way you got a confirmation on that to follow up.
Yeah.
Happening with a few teachers that they suddenly realize the camera's not working. Didn't need it before. Need it now.
So can they fix it remotely?
They might have to swap you out. It just kind of depends.
Oh.
You have to contact them, and
Yeah.
then they'll try.
I sent them a message. I haven't heard back.
Sending them a regular email, they want you to use that link that I just.
No, I used the help desk.
Okay. So when did you do it? How long ago?
2 days.
The other thing to know is that the help desk is kind of over their heads right now with requests coming in. So they may be doing a triage system and getting to the most important first.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
you could be in the queue somewhere.
How
Is
do
there
I?
a way to connect my cell phone to my computer?
I don't think so, but you could access the meetings through your cell phone if it gets your, the links and stuff. If it has.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of my students. How am I gonna do anything, like a Zoom with them?
Right.
They can't see me, they could hear me, but.
Well, so if your cell phone has the connectivity ability, you can do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's limited in terms of having a keyboard and all the other stuff that the computer has, but they'll be able to see you anyway.
Is there a possibility, Daphne, of at your school, do they have a computer you could trade out, or maybe bring one of the extra?
Well, I'm gonna go, but we don't have access to our school like you do. We don't have access, Tomorrow we do, but no, we can't go at all. At all. Only those people with lunch programs have had that ability.
Oh, I wonder if tomorrow maybe your admin could let you take one of the extra student computers.
Yeah, if there are any, but they're not. They're Chromebooks. They're not like a ThinkPad.
Oh, they're not like
no, they don't have the same computers we do, which is too bad because this computer has a great drawing program, painting program.
So it would be perfect for you to be able to teach it. I would think they would put a priority on your computer.
Yeah.
You can go and check in with Mr. Mansing tomorrow and see what he might be able to do.
My biggest fan because I'm having all sorts of problems with Yearbook because we use InDesign and we didn't have any laptops set up for them, and I've beat the bushes. I'm finally got the ROP people to help me. The county's help. Because the district didn't seem to be able to. So that's
very good. I'm glad you got some help. Glad you got some help.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, folks, I think Mariella says, thank you, everyone. Bye. And I think that's kind of what we're reflecting at this point.
I want to say bye to but how? How do I leave the meeting?
You leave the meeting, if you go down to your bottom deal here, you see there's a little telephone and the icons there in between the camera and the phone and the microphone. And you
Okay.
click on that little red telephone and that leaves the meeting.
Okay.
See,
Bye-bye.
I don't even have that. I don't have a red telephone because I don't have a
Okay,
camera. Bye.
Daphne, can you pull the bottom bar up?
Yeah, the bottom
Well-
bar's up. I have the little thing with the stripes on it. And I have the mic, but I don't have a phone.
Well, I'll be darned. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you can always just X out the tab on your computer.
What?
That'll get you out. All right. Many blessings, guys. I hope this next break is good for you, and that the next coming weeks are workable, that we can navigate together and do the best thing for our kids. All right.
Okay.
So have a great afternoon. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so how are we doing here?
Okay, I found the phone, but I wish I had a camera.
So just click.
Yeah, click the.
There you go. I'll be typing up and cleaning up the notes, and I'll get them to Pat, and he'll get them to you. Alvin, if you're able to hear me, can you hang up on the Google Meet?